Hello, all. Welcome back to Xander Studios. I'm your host, Bill. Wait a minute! That's not his name! I thought it was Xander. No, I'm joking. It's Xander. It's me. There's only one me. Well, there could be multiple of me in my head, but for now, there's one. Welcome back. Today, I thought that we could discuss the difference between a normal part file and a multi-solid body part file. And to begin, we'll just go ahead and start a new part. Now, I'm not going to discuss every little detail of what you can do in a multi-solid body part because there are a great number of things that you can do. The only thing that I'm going to discuss today is how to take a multi-body solid and import it into an assembly and make an assembly out of it so that you can use it on drawings, you can detail it out and actually have a proper bill of materials for all the different solids within the part. Now, the difference between the two parts and a multi-body solid part is this. We'll just go ahead and just real quickly make up a square. Let's just say it's 3 foot by 4 foot. Alrighty. And we'll do what am I doing? 1 1/4. Okay. So now let's go ahead and change this to, find it here. Where is it? There it is. All right, we'll do a shell of 1/4 inch. And we'll just do both. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm just creating a grading panel. This is something that I use quite frequently in my industry. We do a lot of structural steel, a lot of platforms, handrails, a lot of things that have to pertain to OSHA requirements. So I thought that this would be a good example on how to use a multi-body solid, because instead of having to sit here and draw up every single little bar and putting those bars into an assembly and constraining everything, this way is a lot easier to do. So we'll go ahead and continue forward. What am I doing? All right, I need the XY plane. We're gonna do a new sketch here. Let's just go ahead and do a cut. And now, typically grading is 3/16 inch thick, and I forgot to do the other dimension, by whatever the height of the grading that you make it. Typically it's 3/16 by 1 1/4. That's pretty standard across the industry. There are different sizes that you can use, but for this, and the most common that is used is 3/16 by 1 1/4. So I just made up the grading band, and that's the first extrusion I did, and this is the bearing bar. These are the bars that run. They're called load bars. Sorry. Had a brain fart. It happens from time to time. So if we do an extrusion, now I'm just going to do a normal extrusion right now. So if we just do that and hit OK, you'll notice over here on the side under solid bodies, even though we have two different components, essentially, we have the grading band that spans the perimeter, and then we have a bearing bar or a load bar going down the middle. You can see, though, there's still only one solid. It's picking up everything. Now, this is a standard part file. In order to make this a multi-solid body, what we need to do is, if we go back into this extrusion, down here where it says new solid, if we click that and hit OK, now you'll notice that the icon for the part changes. There's two little squares here. They're like an eggshell or opaque white kind of color. This is telling you that there is more than one body within this part file. And it also tells you that there are now 2 solid bodies instead of just one. And it differentiates it by putting a seam where this bar runs into this bar here. And it has it on both ends, I believe, yes. There and there. So now we'll go ahead and do a rectangular pattern of that extrusion direction. We'll do both directions. Why did I make this? I made it 3 foot. So let's just try 31 for right now. And it's 1 and 3/16 inch spacing, so it looks like 31 is too many. So we'll do 29. How about that? Alrighty. So now that we have our bearing bars, we'll go ahead and do the little support rods that go in the other direction. I didn't want to do that. Whatever. And we will project the geometry of the top there. And in order to slice through the graphics, all I did was hit F7. You can, if you wanted to, right click and hit slice graphics. It does the same thing. But I like to use the quick key, so I just used F7. So now we'll do a circle of 3/16 inch thick, or diameter rather, excuse me. And we will constrain it. Center there. Do a tangent constraint, that and the top. And hit finish. And now we'll do another extrusion, and we'll do another between. And we'll select this face and that face. And again, we'll hit new solid and hit OK. Now typically, as you can see, it's running through the bars, but it's just going straight through the part. There's no cut extrude that I did. Usually if I was doing this for a job, I would do a cut extrude first and then I would create the bars to go across. But for this illustrative purpose, I will not be doing that because it's really not all that important. So now we'll do another rectangular command and do direction. We'll do it in between. Let's try 9 first, and those are typically 4 inches. Spacing, let's try 11. All right. 13, no, 11 it is. Alrighty. So there is our grading panel. We have all the 3 main components. You have the grading band, you have the bearing bars, or load bars, however you want to call it. And then you have your little support rods. So we'll save this, and we'll just say grading, oops, what am I doing? Grading panel. All right, now, if I were to take this and put it into an assembly, that's fine. You can do that if you don't plan on detailing the grading panels, but if you're in an industry where they want you to detail out the panels, then putting this on a drawing, you're going to run into some issues. So if I were to just do a standard drawing and we place this in there, let's just rotate around. All right, okay. Now, if I were to, even though this is a multi-body solid, there's 3 different solids in here. They're all different things, obviously. If I were to do a parts list and select this, well, you can see that I can't change the BOM view. It's only because this is still recognized as a single part. If I were to hit OK, you can see that there's only 1 line item, but there's 3 solids. So that's why you don't want to just put this in as a part. You can, again, if you're not going to detail these out. But if you're in an industry like mine where we do detail certain things out, like these grading panels, then just putting it in as a part is not going to work. You need to make an assembly out of it. Now, nobody's going to want to sit there and create a grading band and then create every single one of these little bars here. Well, I mean, technically you just have to create one and do a component pattern, but then you have to constrain everything together and do the same thing for the support rods going the other direction. You can do that, certainly no problem, but this way is much easier just based off of if a change has to be made, or let's say if a cutout has to be put in here, it's a lot easier to do this way than it is if you had an assembly and all three of these components were separate pieces and they were all constrained together. So with that said, how do we get this part into an assembly? Well, it's not magic. If you go over to your Manage tab, under Layout, you have Make Part and Make Components. If you click Make Components, what this is going to do is it's going to convert this multi-solid body into an assembly. And first, what it's going to ask you to do is select the components, which actually, before I even do that, let's go ahead and rename our solids. Bars and support rods. That did not do anything already. Ugh, what is it doing? There we go. All right, and the reason why it's always good to rename the solid bodies is because you may have a part that has 50 solids in it. And if you plan on importing all 50 of those into your assembly, well, it's probably a good idea to know what those solids are instead of trying to figure out, okay, what in the world is solid 12? Like, I have no idea. I can't remember. And you got to go back and you got to hover over it and figure it out. It's always good just to go ahead and relabel all of your solid bodies like I've done here. So now we hit Make Components, and it's going to ask you to select the solids that you want to import into your assembly. And you can do it one of two ways. You can come over here and actually select all three components, all three bodies from here in the model, or you can come over here on the model tree and select all three. And over here you have your target assembly name, the template, and where you want to save it. Now, I do not want to save it there. I want to save it just in documents. That's fine. And if you want to change the target assembly, you can come in here and change the file name, and it will update here as well. We're going to leave the bomb structure as normal. We don't need to change it to any of the other ones. So if you hit next, now what it's doing is it's showing you the parts that it's going to create out of the three bodies. And it's selected the standard template and the normal bomb structure for all of them, and the file location, it's going to map it to the same location as the assembly. And you can scale it if you want to make it bigger or smaller, or you can also mirror it. Let's say if you had one panel this way, but you wanted one that was opposite. So you would select, whichever one of these planes. I think it's the YZ plane, and it would mirror it off of that plane. Now, if you hit include parameters, this, all it does is it brings over all the parameters that you used in this part into the assembly so that you can export them from the assembly and use them elsewhere in Inventor. So, trying the best component. Yeah, okay. And if you hit OK, come up here, hit the little home, you can see now you have an assembly called grading panel, and it has your three solids in there. Now what it does here is it grounds all three components. It doesn't put any constraints in there. You can go in and constrain them if you choose to. You don't have to, but what's nice about this is now if you go over to your drawing, and we'll just go ahead and get rid of that view. And let me save that. Hit OK. So now if we do a base view, You see it's picked up the assembly file. Rotate that around, just move that up there, hit OK. Now if we go in and put in a parts list, select this, we can now change the BOM view to either structured or parts only, and we'll change it to parts only here. Hit OK, yeah, that's fine. And now you can see that you have 3 items. Those are the 3 solids that we created. Obviously, I don't have any of the descriptions filled out or anything like that. You can have your bill of materials look however you choose to. But you now have 3 items instead of 1. And you can now detail this out and call out whatever the length and width and the spacing between the two, the load bars and then the support rods and all that. And that is pretty much how you take a multi-solid body, convert it into an assembly, and you're able to use it on drawings and detail it out that way. And another thing that's cool with multi-solid bodies is, let's say if this grading panel got bigger. Let's say if the, which one did I use? 4 foot. Let's say if this changed to, I don't know, 4'8". All right, it gets bigger. Well, obviously now we need another bar in there, so you just go back into your panel there. Not panel. What am I talking about? The pattern. Sorry. And you add 2 more rods on either side, and you hit save. Now, what's really cool is if you go over to here and you hit update, you can see it updates the assembly for you. So everything is tied back, the assembly is tied back to your part here. Now, like I said, this is only one small thing that you can do with multi-solid bodies. There are other things that you can do. You can use all these different modifies here, combine, thread, direction, split, delete face. You can also use all those just for regular parts. But stuff like move bodies, that is something that you need a multi-solid body in order to do. There are other things that you can also do with this. Let's say if you wanted to make a cutout on here, we'll go with this one. Oh, I don't know. Let's just, stick that there. Actually, let's just move it over. I'm not going to constrain it. Don't kill me. I know what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to do a cut, and what is it doing? Okay. So it's asking for the solids. Which solids are we going to cut through? So you hit that, and you hit this, and you hit OK. You can choose which solids you want to cut through. Let's say if you didn't want to cut through those support rods, you just go back here and select solids, and it's only the bearing bars that you want to cut through. You hit OK. It will only cut through what you select, which makes it nice because if this was just a normal part and you did that, it would cut through everything. And that's kind of a pain in the booty. Yes. But yeah, there you go. That is just a brief overview of multi-solid bodies and how it can be used within assemblies and how you can create assemblies and then use those on drawings and detail the things out and all that, and how you can how it's all driven off of the part file itself and nothing has to be constrained or anything like that. So I hope you all enjoyed my wonderful rambling. I hope this video wasn't too long. I don't know. We'll have to check. But yeah, stay tuned for my next video, which I don't know when that's going to be. It took me a while to make this video only because I was going through some health issues in the past few weeks, so I haven't been able to really make any new videos or anything like that. So I have some free time now, so I figured, why not? Let's make another video. So yeah, next video, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I could talk about French fries. I mean, that seems to make sense, right? Let's talk about French fries, and we'll do some 3D modeling on the side. How about that? So tune in next time. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit the like button. And if you want to, hit the subscribe button. And also, before I leave, I know. Hold on. You thought I was done. You thought I was done, and I wasn't done. I tricked you. Oh crap, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I know. If you like these videos, most of the stuff that I learned how to do here on Inventor, I learned from another YouTuber. His name is Neil Cross. He is an Inventor certified professional. He is amazing at using Inventor, all different tips and tricks. If you go visit his channel, he's got hundreds and hundreds of videos, all detailing out all the different commands, how to use like what I have here, multi-solid bodies, how to do just all sorts of crazy kind of crap. So yeah, hop on over to his channel. I'll put a link in the description below so that you can go see what he's up to, show him some love, because he is awesome. So again, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.